Very good morning to all. The topic what we're going to discuss today is on Oedipus Rex, written by Sophocles. First of all, before explaining about Sophocles or about Oedipus Rex, we should know what exactly is the Greek theatre. It looks somewhere like this: the amphitheater, semicircle with a central viewing area. If you look into the picture, you would see it's a semicircle. It's not a complete circle, and that is the place where the audience used to sit. And down the stage, whatever we can see, there the drama was enacted. To get a more information on that, the dressing scene would be the dressing room for the actors would be in the Parkinion, where that square rectangular space is being seen. Then we have Themili, the altar of gods, and that is on the middle stage. Means if at all a god character is being there in the drama, but obvious that would be on the Themili section. We have a skinny section that is for the place of the scenery. Whichever kind of space, whichever kind of scenes we are to be enacted, that would be shown on the skinny place. Orchestra, where the actors performed on stage, that would be on the front of the stage, and the theater, the audience place to sit and watch the movie. A kind of miniature picture of again the Greek theater. Skinny, as I told you about the pictures, scenes, orchestra where the actors are being enacting their play, and Themili is the place where the god goddess characters are being displayed. If at all a character stands there, that means it has to be understood that it would be on the Themili side, that means it would be god. Parados would be the place where the odes are being sung by the chorus. Theatron, audience place. Again, a very clear picture where you can see in the theatre the audience are moving on. Parados, where there are characters who would be there for the chorus section. The characters in the characters means the real characters, whoever are the actors in the act, are in the orchestra. The altar, where the Themili section where the gods would be coming, and at the same time there would be the skinny portion where you can see the scene that would be a palace. History about the Greek theatre. Plays were a part of festival to honor the gods, and Oedipus honors the deity Dionysus, god of fertility. Every citizen attended this place, sometimes even up to 15,000 times, and at the end of the festival, the judges would vote for the best play, whatever they have seen. And talking about a few of Greek gods, one is Dionysus, the god of wine and fertility, and even the god of drama, to please whom the dramas are being played. Apollo, the god of healing and prophecy, sometimes even said that the sun god. Zeus, the supreme deity of gods, and Athena, goddess of wisdom. You can see the picture of Dionysus and Apollo given here. Now about Greek drama. One of the oldest form of drama, that is from the 6th century, and it grew out of religion and myth. The reason why, because people would be accustomed and people would be knowing about the story's content because they have already known in the religion or in the myth. They would be slightly giving a twist to the character or to the story, whatever is being said. And it is always performed as religious festival to honor Dionysus, the god of wine and fertility, as been said earlier, and only male characters were allowed to perform, no female characters. Costumes were high boots, large padded clothing, and mask made of linen or leather attached to wood. The reason, because as you might have seen, the theatron is a very small place. So even if the orchestra, among the orchestra on the stage, if at all the character are supposed to play some characters, some roles, they look according to their costumes, and they make sure that the costumes are of huge figure so that the audience sitting even on the back bench or the back seat would be able enough to visualize the characters. Again, after Greek theatre history, we are going to look into Greek tragedy, specifically the reason because our point of concern is Oedipus Rex by Sophocles, which is indeed a tragedy. Now the word tragedy originates from tragos, which means goat. Winner of festival would receive a goat as prize, which was supposed to be something very auspicious. Focused on popular myth and legend, Oedipus, Trojan War, Hercules, Perseus, and the god and goddesses, that were the theme or the content or the topic which they used to decide on. And it was examined as the consequence of individual action, the relationship of people to the gods, and the role fate plays in life. That even till date, this is one of the most important topic what is being taken for drama. And the best known writers of those ages, Aeschylus, Euripides, and Sophocles. And in the order, if you want to know, it's Aeschylus. He wrote 80 plays, out of which 7 are extant. That means it only 7 are existing right now. Sophocles wrote 100 plus plays. He wrote more than 100 plays, but then out of which only 7 are extant right now. And Euripides, no doubt, he wrote 90 plays, but then a few more are being recovered. A few more, for let's say 18 to 19 plays, are extinct right now, even. Tragedy, as we all know, is a serious drama featuring a hero or main character, often of noble birth. That is to be highlighted, it has to be a noble birth, who strives to achieve something and is ultimately defeated, thereby, it forms a tragedy. The most structure of Greek tragedies present a tight formal arrangement of parts. These are the parts with which the Greek dramas were enacted. The first one is prologue. Prologue is the opening scene of a play. Then we have parados, where the first chorus song or the choral ode would be sung, and from that we get to know the scene. That from there we get to know the plot. Dialogue, obviously, as normal we know, it is the conversation of the play's characters. Choral odes are those lyrical codes which Sophocles treated as collective actors. A group of collective actors would act as choral odes, giving specification of each and every incident, whatever happens. And Exodus would be the concluding scene in the play. To get a more insight on Sophocles, he was considered to be the greatest playwright from ancient Greece. It is believed he won the Athenian festival 18 times and he never took a third position. He was very much involved in political and military affairs too. And Oedipus Rex is a part of his trilogy. What is trilogy? We will get to know in the later part. And he is supposed to be the innovator of third actor. He innovated addition of a third actor was to include painted scenery. Painted scenery were given first on Oedipus actions, or rather you can say in Sophocles plays you could see the stage with a scenery of painted pictures. He reduced the size of chorus to 15 men. Purpose of chorus is to represent the citizen who often question, advise and express their opinion. Never showed violence seen on stage. Violence was reported by a messenger, a character in the play, but an exception would be Ajax. Ajax is only one play of Sophocles where a kind of violent actions are also being shown on the stage. Theme, as we know, would be the central idea or the insight of a particular work of art. And here in Oedipus Rex, faith versus free will would be the prime concern. Why? In Greek literature, or rather in Greek culture to be said, it was always a question whether it was possible to avoid one's faith by simply a chance or an attempt to avoid prophecy, because always we believe in destiny. So is it really working, or can we change the destiny? That was always a question, and I guess even right now the question prevails. Oedipus has been pronounced means swollen foot. How come? We'll get to know. Was a mythical Greek king of Thebes. He fulfilled a prophecy that said he would kill his father and marry his mother, and thus brought disaster on his country and family. This legend was being retold in many versions and was used by Sigmund Freud to name Oedipus complex. Psychological term. There are many different versions of the legend of Oedipus due to its oral tradition. Significant variations on the legend of Oedipus are mentioned in fragments by several Greek poets and even dramatists, which include Homer, Hesiod, Pindar, Aeschylus, and Euripides too. However, the most popular version of the legend comes from the set of Theban plays by Sophocles. Earlier I mentioned the trilogy. This is the trilogy. The first one is Oedipus the King, Oedipus Rex, then Oedipus at Colonus, and Antigone. This is the trilogy, out of which the first one, Oedipus the King, is our prime concern. Oedipus the King, also known by Oedipus Rex, as in Latin, is an Athenian tragedy by Sophocles that was first performed on 429 BCE, that is before Christian era. It was the second of Sophocles' three Theban plays to be produced, but it comes first in the internal chronology, followed by Oedipus at Colonus and then Antigone. Over the centuries, it has come to be regarded by many as the Greek tragedy par excellence. To be more specific about Theban play, we need to know about the royal house of Thebes, where you can understand Cadmus was the first king of Thebes, and he married Harmonium. He had several kids several children, out of which Polydorus and Nectisus bore son Labados, whose son was Laios, who married Jocasta, and from there we are going to look after, because our Oedipus Rex, Oedipus the king, would be having Jocasta married Linus. From there, we are about to start with the story. As I already mentioned, structure of Greek tragedy. First of all, we'll have a prologue, which would be the opening portion, set the stage containing exposition. Exposition means it would be revealing something. Then we have paradox, entrance song of chorus. Chorus would be coming and giving an entrance song. It would be again exposition. Then there would be episodes, scene by scene, there would be actions, there might be conflict, there might be a rising action. Then there would be statimons. Odes performed by the chorus alternate with episodes. Each episodes would be complied with alternate odes. And there you can find the climax and even the anticlimax, that is the falling action. Or Exodus, finally it concludes the section of tragedy with chorus singing final lines as they exit. That would be a kind of resolution. The story of Oedipus, as been in Sophocles' play, is like it begins some 12 years before the action of the play. Oedipus has been made the king of Thebes in gratitude for his freeing of people from the pestilence brought on them by the presence of the riddling Sphinx. What is Sphinx and how? Let's see. Sphinx somewhere looks like this. Sphinx, a winged man-eating creature with a lion's body and a woman's head. Normally, it can be said about a person's head. It's vicious and single-minded. Name of the Greek word spingo means to strangle. You can see into the picture, it shows a face of a female and then it has a body of a lion and it has a wings. The Sphinx riddle was the one thing which was hurting, or which was as a pestilence on Thebes. The Sphinx plagued Thebes with her riddle. She had a riddle which nobody could even solve. The riddle was, what walks on four legs in the morning, two in the afternoon, and three in the evening? When Oedipus solved the riddle, the Sphinx killed herself and he inherited the throne of Thebes, which also include Queen Jocasta. The answer what Oedipus gave was mankind. How? Because we have three stages in life. We crept on the ground with both feet and hands as a child, means 4 in the morning. Then when we grew up, we had 2 legs, we walked on legs, so we were elderly, we were matured, we were able, energetic, that is in the noon time we walked on 2 legs. And finally, when we were unstable, we been old, we are to hold a stick or a cane, means total we have 4. That was the question. As we could see, what walks on 4 legs in the morning, that is as a child, 2 in the afternoon, that is a man in his matured age, and finally when he gets old he needs a stick or a cane, that is 3 in the evening. Finally the answer was mankind, which Oedipus gave. As being given, the government in Thebes had sent out notice prior to this, no matter if somebody found a clue to the mystery of Sphinx, the queen will marry him and let him inherit the throne that Laius left over. Laius by that time was supposed to be killed by somebody, who will be getting to know in the later part. Thus Oedipus had been further honored by the hands of the queen Jocasta also. He didn't know who Jocasta was, but then he just knew that she was the queen of Thebes. Another deadly pestilence is raging, and the people had come to ask Oedipus to rescue them as before. The king has anticipated their needs, however. Creon, Jocasta's brother, returned at the very moment from Apollo's oracle from the announcement that all will be well if Laius' murderer be found and cast from the city. Now, there is a point to be noted that whenever a royal character has any doubts, they had a facility that they would directly call the god and ask for advice. That is the oracle. We have two oracles. The first is the oracle of Sun Apollo, god Apollo, or even the oracle of Delphi. This character is the character of Delphi. So means if at all they have a kind of doubts, they can easily go and they can ask for suggestion, and they would be able enough to get to know their future, or rather the god would give a prophecy which they need to abide or which they need to be caring of. Thus exposition starts. Oedipus, location is prologue, Parados. People plead to Oedipus to end the plague because they already knew that he was the one who could give the answer to the riddle of Sphinx and save Thebes. So this time also they wanted his help. Oedipus curses the murderer whom he blames for Thebes' problem. The people plead to the god for mercy. Oedipus didn't know who killed the king, and that is why he was cursing the murderer. Whoever the murderer was has to be taken away from Thebes. Only then the problem of the city would be cured. So the people were pleading to God for mercy. In an effort to discover the murderer, Oedipus sends for the blind seer Tiresias. Now, Tiresias was a prophet of Apollo. Again, there is another, like I said, the oracle of Delphi, and now here there is another prophet called Tiresias, and he was the prophet of Apollo. Different stories were told of the cause of his blindness, the most direct being that he was simply blinded by the gods for revealing their secrets. The first and the most common one, like